now. So, if historical precedent is anything to go off of, considering that this is the exact same map pool that Prog and NickAzn faced off against last time, this will probably be Prog favored.
Yeah, Prog has that scary robot consistency on these maps that are within his skill range, so it will probably be a bit of a challenge for NickAzn to win, and I think it definitely slightly favors Prog.
Ooh, for sure. And talking about the players, I think NickAzn might be in a worse off state than usual. He's been on call, throughout the day, and I think he's been working since 9 a.m. So that might affect the state of his play tonight.
Yeah, he did mention that in testing that he was very tired.
Hopefully it won't affect it too much. I think that was also the case for SMB last night. We do have the pick and ban phase is ready. The map pool for this one is going to be Hide and Seek, Crime Wave, Orchid, the Pepper, and Cascade. Prog banning first will ban Hide and Seek.
Ooh, let's see. What song are they going to settle on this time? So they banned Hide and Seek and Orchid. You have Crime Wave, the Pepper, and Cascade left. We might see them settle on the Pepper.
Yeah, I'm thinking Nick wants to ban a Prog chart here, but it's possible that Nick just decides to let Cascade be played. Seems like a bit of a weird pick.
Well,
yeah,
we do know that
done it before.
We do know that Nick's skill ceiling is arguably higher, and that he is more likely to win on the harder charts. And with that in mind, he might go for Cascade just to sort of push Prog on the higher end of difficulty.
Oh,
and it looks like
that
is what he's gonna do. So Nick is gonna basically be choosing to play on the Prog chart. Now, while this is a Prog chart, it is one of Prog's harder charts. I think we saw it played yesterday.
Yes.
And there are some fills in that chart that can really get you if you're not paying attention.
Oh, for sure. One of them got Ricki, and it was a very close match there with Mapy. I think taking the match with that map. With,
Mapy PFC'd and Ricki only messed up that one fill.
Alrighty, seems like both players are ready. Let me just double check real quick. And yes, we are ready. Let's go ahead and head into this.
Shit, I forgot I ordered food. It's gonna be here in like a few minutes.
Oof.
That's okay. Between you and me, I'm eating while commentating, so we're fine.
I've definitely. Oh well, that's them calling right now.
Alright, go get your food.
Alrighty.
This is a mukbang commentator stream.
Let's do this. I'm ready. I am so ready to see this first match of tonight here. Oh, and Chaos, thank you for subscribing with Prime Gaming. Ooh, thank you.
You can start in 3, 2, 1, start.
Get ready. Alright.
Chaos is a Prime gamer.
True, Prime Gamer. I guess we'll see if those gaming shops hold up in his matches tonight.
So, this is an interesting match to me, not only because these two are the favorites to win the group, but also because there's a lot of stylistic differences between these two players. Programmatic is a high accuracy player who tends to read the charts very, not rigidly necessarily, but he makes his movements with a lot of intention, and he tends to not be very mistake prone until he hits his skill ceiling, after which things fall apart very quickly. NickAzn is a player who plays more fluidly. You can see his movements tend to just sort of be a little bit slow moving, drift. He just sort of goes with the flow of the music. He doesn't make those like Shunpo style movements like say Trexter does, for example. And it has led to him making a lot of loose mistakes in the past. But he's also despite that, one of the highest skilled players of the entire game. And
Ooh, yeah, for sure. NickAzn is a really, really great player, and unfortunately, I don't think their performance in the Winters is so really represents that. Even though it was a top 4 finishing spot, he's still a really great player.
yeah, bear in mind that he was coming off of two victories. He's a 2-time winner of the tournament. So him and Mapy are essentially the most storied players of the entire league.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, so it seems like NickAzn has finally lost their PFC. Programmatic lost it a bit earlier. He seems to be racking up those imperfects a lot more than NickAzn here, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, neither player using the Speen UI, so we can't tell exactly where they're at.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but hey, supposedly by the end of this month, we'll have live score back and up and running.
Excellent. Both players certainly on full combo pace, though, with less than 2 minutes left to go on this chart. There are still a couple fills leading up to the last drop, and from the last drop, that have the potential to wreck either of these players' streaks. But it looks promising for now that we might see a double full combo here.
Oh, certainly. Prague does have that charter bias here in play, and NickAzn is, of course, a very high accuracy player, so it's very likely that we'll see a double FC. Don't want to curse it too much, though.
Yeah, despite Nick being probably the more skilled player between these two, if I had to give odds on who would make a fluke mistake more often, it would be Nick.
Fair enough.
Alright, apologies for that. They could not find my apartment for some reason.
Unfortunate.
It happens. It shares a parking lot with another apartment, so...
Well, we are in the outro, and we are looking down a double full combo of Cascade, unless one of these fills leads to a fluke miss on either player's part.
Yeah.
And neither of them choose to use the score or the extra
Yeah.
UI.
Neither
UI.
of them are using Speen UI, so we're making a guess, but based on just eyeball test, NickAzn is ahead by about 100 points.
Okay.
Yeah, NickAzn is
Interesting.
going to take this.
Yeah, it's definitely looking that way.
Wow, GG's.
Yeah, about
NickAzn.
200 points lead.
Yeah, double FC for the first map of the night. Very nice.
Complete. Full combo.
So we have
Wow.
68,258 to 68,082. NickAzn will take it by about 180 points.
That's really close, and I'm sure that's kind of what NickAzn wanted. Beat Prague on their own map. Maybe try to get some nerves into Prague.
Wow, that was... Ooh, that's certainly putting some pressure on Prague here. He probably wasn't expecting to take the match against NickAzn here, and that probably cemented that fact.
NickAzn calling that the first full combo he's gotten on that chart.
Oh, wow. And with
Not
just
sure
a
if that's
-2
shade?
PFC? Wow.
Yeah, Nick claims he needs to work on his accuracy more.
Okay. Jeez. I guess let's see what Prague will pick from the remaining match pool. I'm thinking the Pepper perhaps? Probably not. Maybe hide and seek.
Yeah, if I was Prague, I would go... Oh, Pepper. Never mind.
Hey! I called it. Let's go. Alrighty.
I
So
believe
let's.
Prague has said before that he likes playing this chart, so I don't think it's that surprising.
Yeah, I think the only issue he had with the chart was that I believe the beat map, since it was timed to the 6-8 instead of 4-4, it was a lot denser and kind of like misled him since he
Yeah, and he
uses
reads
the
the
beat
beat
map.
map a lot.
Yeah. Alrighty, seems like both players are ready and good to go. And let's get into this.
Alright, everyone is ready. You can start in 3, 2, 1, start.
Alrighty, so Prog has the highest
Ready?
score here, while it will be a sight read for NickAzn, so this definitely favors Prog here.
So that brings up an interesting point that I think we've alluded to in the playoffs of the SpinShare Speen Open, that a lot of these players, especially at the higher level of play, have the leaderboard mod, which allows them to see the past scores of other players that have the mod. And it is believed that it was providing a competitive advantage, not necessarily an unfair advantage, but providing a competitive advantage to players in the pick ban phase. I know Ricki, for example, was using this to look up the scores of the songs that were on the list to see what the highest disparity or the most favorable outcome would be.
I believe Prague is also said to do this, and I believe it was in the match against Ricki where they were both doing it.
Yeah, they traded some blows on that one too. That was a intense matchup. They essentially, I think they won every song they picked, and Prague just picked one more song.
Yeah.
So it was a strategy that actually worked out very well for them.
Okay, so both players are still on FC Ace here, while Prague seems to be getting quite a fair bit of imperfects on this chart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looking at it, it looks like Nick's ahead by just a few, only 1 or 2 imperfect hits.
Ooh. We'll just have to see how this one turns out. So far, it seems to be actually favoring NickAzn on his sight read as well.
Yeah. And on top of that, this is a longer chart, so it leaves the more room for mistakes to happen. Oh, seeing a little bit of a stutter on Prague's end.
Yeah, sometimes Prog stream does that. It just freezes sometimes. If it lasts for like 5 more seconds, I'm gonna refresh the stream.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and try to refresh that. I hope nothing goes wrong. Wow, Prog just, breaking out the lag switch here to hamper his own play.
Calling it
cheating.
back, man.
Oh, it's taking a bit for his stream to come up. This is interesting.
Power went out. Prague is saying in the referee den.
His
Oh!
power flickered.
Oh no! His power went out!
I'm guessing he doesn't have his computer on a not surge protector, on a portable battery.
Alright, let me just let Nay know to let NickAzn continue his run here.
Yep, so per the rules, we will allow a reset of the song. Prague will get a second chance to complete it. Nick will get a second chance as well, and we'll get to play, choose the higher of his 2 scores.
Yeah, we're gonna document both scores from Nick, and the highest will definitely be the one that would replace. Wow, I didn't expect this to happen.
I am very familiar with power outages.
Yeah, Prague's not even Texan, is he?
Oh.
Pretty sure he's in the same area as Nick.
Yeah, they're both software engineers for large tech companies. So there's not very many places that they could live.
Alrighty, so NickAzn going to finish off with a score of 59-6-22. We'll record that score. And we'll just wait for Prog to get back in here.
Okay, so Nick, we got.
Oh, interesting. NickAzn's lights also flickered?
Must be a regional thing.
I wonder
That's
what
interesting. Well, at least NickAzn was able to finish the run.
What if they lived in like the same apartment building?
If that were the case, NickAzn's power would have went out as well.
Well, if his lights, if he had it on a protector.
Oh, thank you, battery backup. Well, there it is. That's the answer.
Yep.
Wow.
I've also got my stuff on a backup battery just in case.
That's interesting. Well, I guess we're just gonna wait for Prog to come back in. His PC might be taking a fair bit to load up. The theory still stands. Prog and Nick confirmed roommates. Wow.
That would be hilarious.
So just double checking, the score was 59-6-22, right?
Yep. And I've got it recorded in the tournament.
Okay.
That was a -1 PFC, right?
Yeah. So the pressure is on for Prog if we're gonna do that second chance run, which he will be doing as soon as he comes back. Oh, we're gonna have to wait a fair bit. So their PC is on, but their router is still booting up, which is very relatable.
Be interesting to see if NickAzn can apply that pressure on the rematch as well. -1 PFC, of course, is a high bar, but he can actually technically do better.
Yeah, if he PFCs on the second round, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, it would, especially since Prog's accuracy on the pepper wasn't the best.
It was less than stellar.
So you could definitely say that the pressure on Nick is definitely at least a little bit alleviated from that performance. So we're still waiting on Prog to jump back into the player VC. This might take a fair bit, so you guys want to make a recap for those who might have just gone back in?
Sure. Let's do a recap of the entire week up to this point.
Oh, sure. Let's go. And let's go ahead and start with, I believe the first match was Swag2 versus Catalog?
Yeah, so we had a little bit of a schedule hiccup in Europe. Not quite as big a hiccup as the Americas have had. But we ended up having Swag Dude versus Catalog first. And Catalog took the match over Swag Dude 2-0. And then we had Ricki versus Catalog, which was slated to be the first match. And Ricki took that set 2-0, but because of the unplanned lateness, Ricki did have to take a game loss there. So Catalog ended up closing the week 3-2 with a net game score of +1. Then we had Mapy versus Pig, I believe, right?
Yeah.
No, Trexter versus Pig.
True,
Sorry.
true. You're right, yeah.
And that went 2-0 in favor of Trexter. Mapy versus Ricki. Ricki managed to continue his almost year-long streak of never going a set loss without taking at least a map off of his opponent, and actually took a map off of Mapy and lost 1-2. causing Ricki to end the week with a 3-3 total game score. Then we had Swag Dude versus Pick Pig, which Swag Dude actually won 2-1 over Pick Pig. And finally, Trexter versus Mapy, which we figured would be the match that would sort of determine the early leader of the group. And Trexter took that 2-0 over Mapy, reversing a tournament record that is heavily slated against him. Then we also, in the NA bracket, or the NA group, sorry, we had 2 early matches because of SMB's inability to play on Sunday for this week. And those were NickAzn versus SMB and Programmatic versus SMB. So both of those ended 2-0 against SMB. So NickAzn and Prog are already one up on their sets over the rest of the players. So the winner of this game will go 2-0 on the week.
Indeed. Which is unfortunate because, you know, I think SMB just landed in Florida today, and I think he was kind of like preparing for the trip yesterday, so he wasn't playing at his best. Probably, I think he actually played on CTM, which definitely impaired his performance.
Yeah, he was playing off his game a whole lot. He actually switched up game styles between his matches and switched to freewheel and then back to CTM. I think that he was definitely off his game. I'm hoping that he can improve, get back to normal for next week. But I think he arrives the day before next week's matches, so it might be difficult for him as well then.
Yeah, it's gonna take might impact his performance a little bit since he wouldn't have much time to practice the map pool. But hey, at least it isn't 140 maps, right?
Very true.
True. And this entire map pool, with the exception of the grand final maps, is the winter SSSO map pool from the 40s up. So all of these players should be at least somewhat familiar with these maps.
Indeed. Alrighty, so I do see Programmatic in the player BC. So, let's see if we can get this started back up again. So I'm just waiting on Prong to get the stream up. He does seem to be online. He's not on his phone in the BC, so I guess it's just a setting up process here. Okay, I seem to be getting Prog stream actually. So let's just wait until both are ready and then we'll just go ahead and get ready for the match.
All right.
So again, Prog is going to have to play out of his mind in order to win this. NickAzn playing the map a second time is almost a formality, because with a 5+ minute chart that he's only played once, the sight read being the -1 PFC, it's unlikely that he beats his -1 PFC, because the only option for that is just a full-on perfect on a 5+ minute chart. Prog had more misses before the power outage. Prog needs to play out of his mind in order to take this even to a draw.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That said, is it doable? Certainly. Is it likely? Probably not. I think if Prog is anything as a player, as far as like player identity goes, consistency is king for Prog. So I think that we're unlikely to see him just randomly play Cracked out of his mind on the second playthrough of the song in the same day. I think more likely he'll play right about the same performance that he had before the power outage, which means a likely 2-0 in favor of NickAzn.
Yeah, I honestly think it's more likely here that Nick PFCs this run than Prog matches that pace.
Yeah.
I think it is more likely both that NickAzn PFCs and that NickAzn outright misses, and his rematch and his replay is worse than Prog's score. I think both of those are more likely than Prog beating NickAzn.
Yeah, it's possible we see a miss from NickAzn, but again, that wouldn't matter at this point. He already got the -1 PFC.
Yeah, it would. This match is it's almost purely a show match for NickAzn at this point.
Okay, so I seem to have stopped getting Prog's feed for some reason.
Another power outage.
Possibly. Let's see what we can do here. That's interesting how it seems to have worked for a second there, and now it's just not connecting. That's interesting.
Oh, Nay is saying we might need a new key for Prog.
It's possible. Let's see what we can do here. If the new key doesn't work, then I guess you could just try doing the good old Discord workaround.
True.
Alrighty, let me just see if I can get a key. Alrighty, so just gonna go ahead and give Prog a key real quick. Hopefully this doesn't take longer, since, you know, NickAzn is somewhat pressed for time.
Yeah, I think if it's a worst case scenario, we just have Prog replay the map if Nick has to leave, and if Prog doesn't win, then we just give Nick the thing.
That's the thing, though. It's 1-0 in favor of Prog, so if he loses this map, it would go to tiebreaker.
It's not 1-0 in favor of Prog. Nick had the higher score.
You're right, you're right.
So Nick is basically waiting on a formality, because if it's unlikely that Prog wins this individual map, then he's basically just waiting for the replay to confirm it.
Alrighty, the new key is working. The new key is working. Just go ahead and ask Nay if we're all good and ready to start this replay up. Sorry about the delay there. The power outages, you know, kind of hard to work around. All right, let's just go ahead and transition here.
Matter -1 on this play.
Putting a lot of pressure on you.
Alright.
Then mute and type ready in the chat.
So as you can see on the leaderboards, NickAzn now has the second highest score behind only Mapy, who has a PFC. Programmatic has the third highest score on this song. The first time this was played through, Nick did not have a score posted. So that -1 is a sight read.
2,
Wow.
1, start.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Let's see how this run turns out. It doesn't seem to be looking good for Prog here. It seems to be very likely that this will be a 2-0 sweep in favor of Nick.
This is one of the things that we thought could happen, though. NickAzn is one of the favorites to win this group. The other being Prog. It really did hinge on their head-to-head record. And we figured that Prog might have a chance on these lower difficulty songs to take it off of Nick, who is more mistake-prone. Ah, there we go. 2 misses. All right, it's over.
Oh, did Prog just get more than 2 goods?
Yeah, there was at least 3 in there.
Yeah, he got 2 in a row.
Prog stream.
Wow.
Oh, slowly
Okay,
coming.
yeah, it's
Struggling.
we're watching Prog in Technicolor.
He seems to have entered the rhythm dimension.
I think
He's
the other
come back
thing
out.
is Nick, previously, before the Winter SSO, was basically not really playing the game at all. And I think seeing his own performance in that tournament might have driven him to get back into it and get better, and prove that he is still one of the best players in the world.
Very possible. It is, so for a player that was a two-time champion, not super unlikely for him to have just rested on his laurels after basically considering himself at the top of the game, and then seeing players that were already near the top, like Mapy, come up and basically, like, for a while, Mapy was the only player ever to beat him, and that was in the finals, essentially. No, it was in the semifinals, I believe, right?
It was in the semifinals, yeah.
And being beaten by someone who isn't Mapy basically says, all right, now the rest of the field is coming up on me. I gotta put some pressure on myself to improve, and that might have led to a little bit as well. Because yeah, even in the matches that Nick won, ooh, we got a miss from Prog. All right, well,
Yeah.
it was already over, but now it's over.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was kind of like in the middle of eating pasta since, you know, my mom just brought me in food.
So does
Hell
that mean
yeah.
all the commentators are eating while we're watching this?
Perfect.
This
You know
wasn't
what?
planned.
We've got 2 minutes left. What y'all eating?
I'm eating, so I ordered from a local pizza restaurant. It's like it came with like a side of, I'm not eating the pizza right now because it's a little hard to eat pizza at my desk, but I'm eating these like fries that are covered in like cheese and green chili. They're really good.
Ooh.
That's so like poutine, basically.
It's like the Texas version of poutine, but it's basically just fries with stuff on them.
And chili cheese fries are great. Almost poutine.
It's not-
It'd have to be gravy, but it's almost.
It's not like beef chili, like green chilies, like peppers. the pepper.
Ooh, that
Yeah.
sounds pretty good, actually.
I love green chilies, dude. Anytime someone tells me they can put them on something, I'm like, fucking throw them on, pile them high.
I love them, but I've never had them on fries before.
They literally go good on anything. I would stand by that. You can put them on anything, and it will make it taste better.
I think a tree just came in and they're asking why we're talking about food.
We're talking about food because 30 seconds into this, the match was already over. We were watching a replay of NickAzn, who already posted a -1 PFC, and Prog got 2 misses in the intro, so we're just filling time.
Yeah, and probably just got another miss, so not good.
So I have been eating toast, bacon, and scrambled eggs with cheese.
That sounds really good. I love
Down home
eggs.
Sunday breakfast. Love it.
Well, that's the end of the run here. That's gonna be 2-0 for Nick. That's gonna be a sweep. Another?
This one is
Oh
actually
my
technically better. His previous was a beat -1, and this was a tap -1.
Oh, wow. Alrighty. Well,
So he actually managed to PB without PFCing. The thing that none of us thought would happen.
Yeah,
And,
that was
Prog-
not something that came to mind, no.